The 3 Cents podcast is recorded on Australian soil, and we'd like to acknowledge the Turrbal people, the traditional custodians of the land in which we live on today, and pay our respects to their elders past and present.
Jumbo.
Baoni.
G'day, and welcome to another episode of 3 Cents.
My name is Sophie.
I'm Tyre.
And I'm Dara.
And we will be sharing 3 unique perspectives, insights, opinions, and keeping it spicy, right, girls?
That's right.
Well, I've been doing a lot of thinking lately about the friendships that I currently have. And I've kind of noticed that, especially over the last 5 years, I've definitely been doing a lot of just cutting down the numbers. And I really think that it's attributed to us obviously getting a lot older, thinking about the sort of things that we value in our lives and the sort of things that we really have time to I guess, continue to put the effort in and maintain those relationships. What have you guys been thinking?
Well, I've had a couple of poisonous friendships, I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, I had one friend who literally in the middle of the street started screaming at the top of her lungs at me. And because she was so upset at me, and I was like, girl, what did I do? And she's like, you are too nice to people. You are way too nice to people. Why are you adding people on Instagram? Blah, blah. And I'm honestly, to be honest, I'm one of those people who's just I feel really, I always want to be warm towards people that I meet, especially if I don't know them, because it's we were all a new group of people put together. And I didn't want to be oh, I really need to stick onto my friend glue, you know? So I was putting in the effort to be hey girl, yeah, I do this, what do you do? And then they were the ones who were oh, can I add you on Instagram? And we're yeah, cool. Who doesn't want more Insta followers, guys? it's not that deep. But yeah, she literally basically persecuted me for having making friends with her friends, if that makes sense.
Oh.
And she said that I'm way too nice. So it made me think, okay, it made me second guess myself for a little bit. At first, I was is that a bad thing to be nice to people? But I don't think so. I just think it was a toxic friendship, and I think it was a little bit of jealousy because she wanted us to only be friends and no one else. So who is bring in our specialist friend? Yes. Yeah, girl. Yeah, her name is Precious, and she's honestly the funniest person, and we always have fun with her. So we thought she'd be the perfect person to bring in. She's actually a bridesmaid as well, so it kind of reflects on you that you're a pretty good friend. So we just thought, let's get some insight from Precious. Thanks for joining us.
Hi guys. This topic is actually pretty interesting because I don't really have much personal experience on this, but I have a lot of stories to tell from other friends. And according to what Dara said, I think that person just wanted you to be like her.
Yeah.
So she wasn't there to be your friend. She's just seen this figure that, I can turn this person to be someone like me, and then keep her under me and tell her what I want her to do, which doesn't really work all the time. So I'm so glad you guys aren't friends anymore, because that's not friendship.
Yeah, me too.
It's an element of ownership.
Yeah.
You don't actually see the person as their own individual person. They're just an extension of yourself. So you need to do what makes me happy. Otherwise,
it turns into obsession sometimes.
It is obsession. Yeah.
Right.
Toxic.
So, I mean, talking about this, I mean, we have to put in the element of, okay, we are from an African background, and I feel Black girls are quite competitive. Yeah. Have you noticed that? I would walk down the street and another Black girl will give me eye contact, but it would be and then look me up and down contact, not oh, hey girl, we're from the same, continent. No. It's more yeah, what are you wearing? You can just tell that it's not friendly.
It's not genuine, no.
It ain't friendly, guys. Yeah. So Yeah, so what do we do in that situation? Like, how do we become better people in terms of supporting like Black women around us and really cultivating the Black friendship?
Look, it's really hard because it's a personality thing. You cannot change someone that doesn't want to be changed. And if someone has had that hate in their life for almost all their life, there's nothing that can be done about it. And another thing I've noticed about the whole African setting is our parents do this to us. They compare us with everybody they see.
Right.
So we end up growing and comparing ourselves with people. And we see this person that looks so nice, we want to be like them, but no, instead of approaching them and talking to them, we just hate them from a distance. And then when you really get to know this person, you just realize you've been wasting your time the whole time, you know? It's just really hard because there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, that's a good point that our parents do sometimes compare us a lot. And I think we develop this thought of there can only be one of us at the top.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Competitiveness.
Wow.
Yeah, and I think it's very common in the Black community, and it spans across a lot of different things with career and with looks and with finances and just a lot of different things. Like, we feel like there can only be one Black person that can be right at the top. And it's so sad because even with workplaces, for example, let's say, in your job currently, it's very easy to be the only Black person in that office. And you develop this identity of being the Black person, and you have these things that you do. And then the moment another Black person comes in, it's almost like you already start comparing your performance against theirs. And I think even people around you might also start making those comparisons as well, which is so stupid because at the end of the day, you're two very different people and different strengths and everything. But you probably might come up with this toxic thing of, one of us can be at the top. So you just trying to outsmart each other, outdress each other, outspeak each other, I don't know, that kind of stuff. And it happens across a lot of different things. So yeah, I think it also comes from that whole comparison that we do grow up with in our community.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I mean, you sometimes think like, oh, it would be better if, and I think there'd probably be a lot more impact if we do kind of unite together and form those friendships to kind of help each other out. But what does friendship really mean to you, Precious? Like, how would you sum that up?
Friendship is not meant to be one-sided. If you're my friend, I want you to have my back and I want to be there for you too. I don't want it to be that I'm the only one asking. I also want you to be able to feel comfortable with me, sit with me, laugh with me, eat with me, make fun of me. Because a lot of people are so sensitive that you say something and they're like taking an issue out of it when you're just being friends. Like, if you want to be my friend, you should know me and know the type of person I am and know that I'm not going to do anything to hurt you. Friendship can be compared to a relationship if you think about it. Cause
yeah, that's true.
In a relationship, you guys want to support yourself. You want to be there for each other. You want to cry on each other's shoulders, and apart from the intimacy part, obviously. But yeah, you just want that person to be there. And honestly, they won't always be there, but you as a friend should be able to understand. And you as the other friend should be able to explain. You don't just shut your friend up just like that, you know?
Yeah, that's a good point. Dara, what would you classify as
a friend?
Yeah.
Oh, someone that I can do bougie things with. Yeah, girl, you know, like let's go to the champagne dinners and high teas and like massages. No, no, but I actually think if I look at my friends, they're also different, and I feel like it kind of reflects me as a person as well, because I feel like I'm not just one type of person. I don't fit in one box, and I think having these different groups of friendships really feeds into like those different parts of me, and so that's why I appreciate those friendships so much. And I guess that's why I haven't put them in the same room, because I feel like if we put them in the same room, I don't know how that would work. I feel like it would be a little bit of a disaster. But like separately, I get to lean in on like the different sides of me. So like I'll have my friends who have that African origin, because it feels like home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll have like the Australian friends, because, that's who I went to uni with, and those are the party people that I went out with. And then I'll have like my other friends who are more like career focused, and we talk about career a lot. So I think it's so important not to maybe just rely on that one friend to do all of it, because everyone has their strengths, and everyone has something that they pull out of you. But yeah, like with all my friendships, I definitely don't want it to be one-sided, and I also want to pour into them the same way that I expect them to pour into me. So I think that's what I see friendship as. Yeah.
I completely agree with both of you. But have you heard that saying that says, keep your circle small? I actually did believe that for a little while. And I do still kind of agree with it in terms of not everybody is really, really your friend like that. There's people who you can call your friend, or even family, people who you share a big part of your heart with, people you can actually be vulnerable with, and you can share really dark things that you go through, and that they'll be there to support you and go through life with you. So I think the word friend can be very heavy in that context. But I do also 100% agree that you do also still need to have friends who have other interests, friends who they're good at partying, they love to experience new things, they love to do different things, like maybe they're good at hair, or maybe they're good at, I don't know, travel, or like other aspects of yourself that you also want to develop. But I think you also just need to understand where they kind of sit. Like there's certain things that you can reveal to your actual close trusted friend, that you can really go and give to someone who you just go to clubs with. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I think, friendship is just so diverse. Like it's so diverse. I can say I call everybody a friend just because we connect at whatever level. Yeah.
Fair enough.
So I think it's really different for different people.
That's true. So I guess I wanted to know as well, Precious, how have you felt about having, female friends versus male friends? Like, do you think that's even a thing? Because I feel like I speak to some people and they're like, you can't be friends with a guy because like for sure they want to hit on you and they like secretly in love with you or something. So do you find it easier to build friendships with the girls or the boys?
Because of the type of person I am, I'm pretty much too open, and I might come off as rude, but I'm not rude. I just let my mouth just do its thing, So it's easier for me to make friends with guys than girls, because girls are so emotional.
Yeah.
And you can really say some certain things to them. Throughout my life, it's just been so easy to get male friends than female friends. Yes, they'll try to hit on you. Like the two male friends I have now tried their best to hit on me, and
so they're still there. You didn't fire them?
Oh no, I did not.
Oh, you didn't? You're so nice.
You just said access denied.
They started off as trying to like get me to be the girlfriend. So like when you make it really clear to them that this can happen, most of them will leave, and the ones that leave are asses, and the ones that stay are good friends, actual good friends. And these guys are ones that I can talk to and they would not be judgmental. They probably will say, oh, you're stupid. And we all know you're stupid isn't really you're stupid. It's just them trying to put sense into you. And they will advise you the way a girl wouldn't. So it's really better for me to make friends with guys than with girls.
Yeah, that's quite interesting. So why do you say that boys advise you differently to girls? Do you feel like they're more genuine in their advice, or is it that they're just more honest? What was it?
Yeah, they're more honest. And half of the things we go to friends for advice for are things like relationship issues, work, life in general. And men take life not the way we take life. Like they they take life because they're just there's a goal they want to achieve and they fight so hard to do that. And so I'm not saying we women don't, but some women we just relax and just let it go as it is. But these men will give you relationship advice based on what they would do to you if they were in the guy's shoes.
Right.
And when it comes to work advice, it depends on what the work is. You know, nobody's gonna give you the perfect work advice as long as they're not in the same line as you. Yeah. So it's pretty. You can get from both sides, and yeah, it's just better to just have a male friend for me.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I definitely found, like, during school, I definitely think I had more female friends than male friends. But as soon as I left school, like into uni, I definitely felt like I was able to make male friends a lot easier. Like, there's just this thing with girls, like, I feel like it's almost like a full-time job. Like, it's that initial you looking at them, and then there's sometimes that element of like competitiveness. Like, you know how guys, like, when they meet each other on the street, they do like this head nod thing, like to be like, oh, like, hey bro, what's up? Girls don't do that. So it then puts that extra barrier to initiate any sort of conversation or friendship with them. And I just found that honestly during uni was just like so time consuming. Like, it was just so much easier to have friendships with guys. And I really think that what you're saying, Precious, is so true, that guys kind of, they just talk to you a lot. Like, it's just really different. It's easier to have conversations. It just flows a lot better, and you don't really have to put so much, like, I'm not trying to say, I'm not trying to say that you shouldn't put thought into your friendships, but it's like with girls, sometimes you have to like really overthink everything. Like, even simple things that you say, like, oh, will they take it the wrong way, blah, blah, blah. Whereas guys, like, they just kind of like, you know, it's whatever. So yeah, it's always been a bit of a interesting one with me, going like in and out of girl groups, cutting girls off.
Snip, snip.
It's okay, definitely. And even on that point, I definitely feel like I've had more quote unquote frenemies like that are girls than you know, frenemies that are guys. Like, what do you think, Sophie?
That is a very interesting one. But I think with me, I grew up with brothers, and I was also really close to my dad as well. And I feel like I got really comfortable with just hanging out with guys. That I kind of overcompensated with girls, like when it came to friendships, because I was like super excited just to have girlfriends, because I was like, oh my god, girls, like, yes. But in terms, if I actually think about dramas in friendships and stuff, it was definitely with the female side of friendships. So it kind of made me feel like, oh man, maybe it's actually easier with guys. But then that's a tricky, slippery slope, because the guys that I did make friends with, not now, because there are some very genuine guy friends that I have now, but just in that phase, like, then now they start, you think, oh my god, this is so amazing, I have guy friends too that are just my friends, period. But no, there was no period. They did want something more. They did want a relationship, but they want to, you know, extend the friendship beyond friends, just friends. So, but in terms of frenemies, it was mostly with the females, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree there. I went to an all-girls school for high school, so I mean, what boys? Like, when we saw boys, we'd get so excited. Yeah. So, like, for us, it was like we didn't really see boys as friends because we were starved. We did, but definitely the older I got, the more I valued the male perspective on things. That, you know, they do definitely see things a bit differently, and they are a little bit more straightforward with certain topics. I really enjoy like my male friends as well these days. Like, I'm like, oh, okay, like, you guys have something interesting to say. Like, I wouldn't have thought of it like that. And also, there's certain things that they're very comfortable with, and they're not nervous about. Like I feel like if I was like, oh, I want to get a pay rise, I'd be like really nervous. Whereas like if I speak to my guy friend, they'll be like, it's not that serious, just go ask, you know, like so I just love that like how blunt they can be. But yeah, frenemies is something that I don't enjoy, because I'm like, why just don't bother even being friends? Like I just think it's really weird. Like what's the point? It's like, because they put so much energy into hating you from afar. It's like, it's a bit gross.
But I guess it's also that competitiveness, isn't it? And
jealousy.
Yeah, jealousy, which comes from comparing yourself to people who you feel like you're similar to. So girls on girls, I guess boys on boys have their own thing going on, but like I think with females, and we can speak for black females, I feel like we look at each other and measure each other based on where we're at, like who has a baby, who got a house, who's traveling, who's got long hair and who's got short hair. It's just dumb, but it's just like I don't know where it comes from.
And it's always easier to just walk up to that person and just ask them, how did you do it?
It's
so easy, instead of hating them and then losing everything, the friendship, the advice. It's just not worth it. And when we talk about frenemies, it's not just the jealousy or the competitiveness or anything. I've had a friend, or she was an ex-friend. I don't even think if she was a friend in the first place, because I had a situation where I was with some guys and we wanted to go out, and they were like, oh, can you get your friend to come over? I'm like, nah, you call her yourself. And then they called her and like, oh, hey, do you want to come out? She's like, oh, no, there'll be no girl there. And they were like, oh, Precious is going to be there. And she's like, oh, Precious isn't really my friend. Do you know how much that hurts? No. Like when you think of this person as your friend and the person just throw you in dirt and the boys are looking at you like...
It's embarrassing.
Yeah, so sometimes you just don't have that friendship at all. I think you just need to clarify it with whoever the person is. Sometimes you just know.
Well, do you think there's a reason why she said that? Is it because she's talking to the boys and she wanted to sound cool? Or do you feel like genuinely she didn't find you guys as friends?
It's hard because I never really approached her to talk to her about it, like why. It came up at some point, but she wasn't given a valid valid reason for doing that, and it just made me think, oh, she thought I was just too small for her to be her friend.
Too small? Is it too young? Or?
Yeah, not really too young. Like, I'm not just her level, her type of girl, the whole classy and bougie thing.
Yeah.
And if you really know me, I do not care. Like, I want to be me.
Yeah.
Call me local or whatever. I am me. As long as I'm happy, I can do whatever I want to do, then it's all good by me.
I think it's interesting. I think even like how girls select their friends. Like, I know some girls select their friends based on the level of prettiness they're on.
So true.
Because they want to be like, oh, we want to be in the pretty girl gang, and we only want a pretty girl in my gang.
How primal.
You know? And I know I've been in friendship groups like that where it's like, okay, we know we're going out together. We know we have to put in so much effort.
Yeah.
Basically, need to spend like hours on our makeup because, like, you know, we need to have a certain look when we go out. And it's like, when do you get to the deep stuff though? Like, I can only do so much of the like, oh yeah, let's be pretty thing. Because I'm like, okay, and then what? You know what I mean? Like, there's no substance to it whatsoever. So it's kind of like, where do you draw the line? Do you want to waste your time like trying to look pretty for your friends so that you can take photos, but then you don't even like each other?
That's it. That's so weird. Like, it's weird that, and I think this is where it comes to that whole quality over quantity thing, where people kind of have or want to be known as having like a large amount of friends. Like, you go out, someone like, oh yeah, I know this person, you know this person, this person, this person, but do you actually really know them? Or is it just because you want to be associated with that person because they may have like a certain look, or you know, might have like a certain career or something like that, and it just makes you feel good to be associated with that person? But aside from you meeting each other like out something and you just be like, hey, like that really superficial stuff, like they probably would have no idea like when you're struggling or when you're really going through a tough time, but you want to be known as like, oh yeah, I know this person, oh I know that person, but there's no substance to it. And it's weird because if you actually think about it, to maintain like those types of friendships, it actually does take quite a lot of effort. Like
it does.
And it's actually quite emotionally draining as well to have to maintain that, like, oh yeah, I know this person, I know that person, and then there's just no substance to it. I don't understand it. I vowed to myself that I just couldn't do it. Like I'm more than happy to just have 5 friends and have 5 quality friends that I know that I can go to if there's anything that's going on, and them also come to me as well, like so it's a two-way street, like it has to be.
I mean, what about when we give each other advice? Like, do you feel like it's actually genuine as well? Because there's some people that you can go to and you can say, Precious, you mentioned earlier, like, oh, why don't we just ask our friend how did they get to that spot? So, for example, if someone had a business and I had to be like, oh, how did you get there? Some friends would be very guarded as to how they got there. Then does that make you question, like, whether you guys are actually friends or not? If your friend doesn't want to bring you along with their success? Or is it more, you should be doing your own thing and find your own way to get there? Like, what do you think is the right way to handle things as a friend?
I think at the end of the day, if your friend needs you to help them get to where you are, it's your obligation to just do that for them. Because you can tell your friend, oh, I need you to do this and be who you want to be for like ages, and if what they want to be is you just have to help them get there. Because most times people don't just even know what they want in life, and then they see this and they think, oh, this is what I want. Just let them, even if it's a mistake for them, let them make the mistake and realize it's a mistake. As long as what they asked of you is what you gave them, then.
That's true. And I think, like, it's weird that people are so guarded with, how they got somewhere. Because at the end of the day, how there's, like, all these books on, like, how to lose weight in 30 days or, like, how to build a business in 50 days or whatever. Like, everybody has the same blueprint, but it's about the person and the person's effort to get there. But even if you give them that advice and let's say they do get to a good spot, like, I feel like there's some friends who would claim it as their own. They'd be like, oh, like the only reason why she got there is because I helped her. So then it's like it makes me nervous to want to ask these questions sometimes, because I'm like, either I won't get the real answer, or the person will get irritated at me, or they'll tell me some fake stuff. Or if I do succeed, are they just going to claim that forever and like hold that upon my head for the rest of their lives, like, oh, but you only got there because of me. Like at the end of the day, it has to come from your hard work. And so I think like people shouldn't be scared to give people the blueprint, because it's really up to the individual to go follow that blueprint. Like everyone has the recipe, but if you don't do it properly, then it's none of your business. But as a friend, you shouldn't be so scared to be honest, right?
And I mean, there is that saying of you are the average of your network, or your 5 closest friends or whatever. But I think another thing is just to be careful of friendship entitlement, like expecting you're my friend so you owe me this, and it's like in reality they don't actually owe you shit. Like, you know what I mean? So they put in the work to get their business the way it is. That's great. You should support them. But if you are trying to get to that place as well, don't rely on that person to take you exactly where they are. You can learn things from them, okay? They can share with you what they're comfortable sharing, but there is tears, there is things that go behind it as well that they might not want to share. They might have been broke as hell when they started that business. They probably don't want to say any of that. So
they might have done something illegal too.
They might have done something illegal. You never know. But I think even with that saying, it's good to rely on your network. there's something you can get from that friend, but there's also something you can learn from those books. There's other connections you can get, other business owners that can teach you things that will mean something for your own business.
Yeah.
But I think relying on just your friends saying, you built this, you must tell me A to Z exactly what you did.
Yeah.
That's draining.
They don't have to.
Yeah,
It is
And you
draining.
shouldn't expect it either. Like,
That's
I think that can actually even be toxic to a certain level.
Yeah.
Like, you put them in a very uncomfortable position,
Yeah,
being
100%.
entitled to their knowledge, or,
Yeah, so it's all about giving back. So even if they do give you that advice, like, you should be able to give something back to them. Like, if you're going to ask for that advice, at least take them out for dinner. Like, damn, like, you know what I mean? It's not like, give it to me now, and then you're just like, okay, bye.
Yeah, give them a discount, give them a share of your business.
It actually
or something.
reminds me of a friend. So she's dating an African guy, and every single time she wants to do something that like is African related, she calls me and I give her the whole advice, the whole recipe to read, and you call her for her help. She never picks her calls.
Wow.
She never responds to your messages. And it goes on for like a long time. You get fed up, but you don't just want to cut this person off.
Yeah.
Because you know this person actually really needs you. But then I really do get confused as to what to do about it, honestly. It's so hard.
Because then now it becomes like a thing of like, I give you this, so you must give me that. And then it becomes transactional. And then is it a friendship anymore? Now it's just a business agreement.
You should just start a business then. If people are coming to you for this advice, just be like, I charge $100 an hour. You know? You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you just have to realize, like, I think that's also a good point. Like, I think friendships also reveal your strengths. Because I feel like without your friends, you like, sometimes you just don't believe in yourself. And then, your friends will come to you for advice for specific things, and you'll be like, okay, I'm actually not that bad at that then. Like, so I think sometimes you should also like use that as a way to reflect on yourself and like what you're good at, and it could lead to something really amazing, whether you're friends with them later or not. It's none of my business, honestly. If I'm making coin, see ya, nah. But like, so definitely you mentioned canceling friendships. So like, what do you think? Like, do you think it's healthy for us to be just cancelling right, left, and centre? Because I know a lot of us are using that block button, like, unblock, block button. Sometimes a little bit too much. Like, sometimes I wonder, why don't we just sit down and actually like discuss the issue and see if we can resolve it? Or do you feel like, what's the point? Just call it a day. Like, what do you guys think?
I think most times we just like cut these people off without actually looking at ourselves.
That's so good.
Self-reflection.
Like, why exactly are all these people coming to you? The people that you can keep, they'll always leave. Are you doing something wrong? Are you bragging? Are you the one actually making them jealous? Or are you the one that's just not giving them attention? And you think you want your own space, but they're being too much? Like, it's a really tough topic, because you want to speak good about yourself, but then if you don't really know why this person's just left, you really just cannot figure it out, or why you want to just block this person because they're being too much on you.
I think we lack grace, I think, as people. Like, we don't allow people to... Like, we're just very protective of ourselves. Like, we don't want people to hurt us or things like that. So you do one stupid thing, you're blocked, you're cancelled.
Yeah, right.
We definitely don't give each other grace, I don't think. Yeah, but I think we expect it back. And I think sometimes also we try to... We get hurt when we don't see people be exactly as we are or do exactly what we thought we would do in that situation.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're just like, I would do this, so you did that, so that means you're bad. I'm good. Cancelled. Goodbye. Like, you know what I mean? So we don't have grace.
Yeah. I'm actually really, really bad at that. And I think definitely over the last maybe 3 or so years, like, I just feel like my patience just is quite thin. Like, I feel like if I meet someone and within the first interaction I feel like I can know if I'm going to vibe with you or not, and based off that, like, there'll definitely be people where I, like, you can clearly tell that I probably won't put in effort to be friends with you. But I have noticed that has definitely stabbed me in the back sometimes. Like, I would, meet a chick and we'd talk initially, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know, you're just not my vibe. And I would, like, cancel them off. But then it kind of turns out maybe a little bit later, I think, oh, maybe I should give that person another chance. Like, maybe I should give that person the chance to really show themselves to me, rather than just getting this, like, preconceived idea of what they are and then just be like, oh, no, they're cancelled. Blocked. I really need to work on that. You guys have just made me think. Because you guys are talking about patience and thing, and now I'm just like, dang, like.
But I think sometimes your intuition is right. There are people with actually characters that you probably shouldn't allow in your life. So I think still respect that part of your intuition, because it's there for a reason. But I think sometimes we can be a bit unreasonable. We can just be like, she looked at my shoes. I don't like her.
It also just boils down to, why exactly are you making this person your friend, you know? Because if you're still making this person your friend because of what they look like and how they look, and not
shallow things,
unnecessary things, and you just don't really see the bad side or the bad things that comes with them, because some people just attract negativity.
And sometimes people come as like nice people, and then they really show you that they're not nice people at all.
That reminds me of, like, when I was in uni back home, I had this friend. Okay, while I was in high school, we were friends because we were like the only Igbo girls in school, in my class.
Evil? Oh, okay. Oh, Igbo. Okay. Sorry,
Igbo
guys.
girls in my class. So we were really close till we finished high school, and I got into uni. She didn't. She was trying, and so I just asked her to, like, come to my school, so she could, like, try there and start off with a diploma and see how she goes with that. Well, she came, and I had a boyfriend then. I was staying with him, and she was invited to stay with us too. This girl came, we treated her so nice, gave her food, everything, transported her back and forth from, like, Lagos to Anambra State. And she went back to Lagos, I went to Lagos for the holiday, only for me to come back, and I heard she went back to Anambra to stay with my then boyfriend. Not just staying with him, but also telling him, like, stupid shit about me.
Oh my God.
And then having something intimate with him.
After all you did for her?
After all I did for her. Like, you would question yourself, like, what exactly did I do wrong?
Yeah.
Like, I was just trying to help you, and you just go back and do these things. Well, I asked her why she did it, and she's like, oh no, I didn't do that. She just denied the whole thing. Because I was having issues with my ex then, he had to show me evidence, like, make me jealous that someone else wants him to.
Wow.
What?
So it's not just doing what you did, it's also denying it.
Yeah.
I think what I've learned with people who try to hurt you like that, or friends who try to hurt you like that, they're normally people who feel like they are inferior to you in a certain way. I've never seen anyone who feels like they are above you or they're equal to you try to bring you down. You can only bring someone down if you're underneath them. So
some people are really, really, really greedy. They will have everything. Like, I know a girl that had everything. She was pretty, she was rich, but then this one guy she wanted didn't want her, but wanted her friend that wasn't that beautiful, wasn't that successful, and I think it just made her feel like
inferior.
Yeah, small.
Yeah.
So she just
that's what it is.
You know.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think from this conversation, there's a couple of things to take away with us.
Yeah.
First of all, that cancel button is there for a reason, but use it wisely.
Yes.
Secondly, let's, figure out how we want to navigate our friendships and really take some time to evaluate yourself and your friend. And maybe if you can have that conversation with your friend, then that would be great. I think that's a great point. And then another thing is that comparison is the thief of joy.
Amen.
It's really unhealthy and it's sort of a waste of time. To be honest, you could put your energy in something else. So yeah, I think we just need to reassess ourselves and reassess our friendships, and maybe also make sure that we're not the toxic friend as well. Because I feel like we always say, oh, that friend was horrible, but also like sometimes you might not be that great of a friend. So think about that, guys.
Another thing is like when you hear or people have said this about this person, just get to know them.
Yeah.
Don't just conclude by what you've heard.
What other people say.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a good point, Precious.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna do a little let's call it a game. Let's bring this Squid Games edition, okay? Cancel or save. So we'll discuss some things and we'll see, you know, what exactly we would do in these situations. Are we gonna cancel the person, or would we save them to see another day? So the first scenario I have for you, Precious. So imagine that you have this surprise 30th birthday party planned for you by some of your closest friends, and you realize that out of the group of friends that were organizing this surprise party for you, that about 3 of them didn't actually organize anything and they didn't contribute any funds to the event. They simply just turned up, but they made it sound like they did so much, you know, to contribute to this party for you. And you ended up finding out that actually wasn't the case, like through someone else. So how would you approach those friends? Like, how would you deal with them in that situation? Would you cancel them, or would you save them to let them see another day? What would you do?
I don't think it's such a serious reason to cancel a friendship if you were actually friends. This is where you just bring in the ignore button.
Ignore button.
You save them, and then you just get a reason why they weren't there. And if there's no proper reason, just let it be. It's not so serious. It's a birthday party. It's not something that would help your life or save your life in the future or something. It's not like you were drowning and they weren't there to save you. You know.
Okay. Wow, what a responsible answer.
Dara, tell
I
us
cancel them. You are cancelled. Nah. Actually, I think with that scenario, I don't think I would mind too much, but I would remember. So I just remember, oh, okay, you're not that type of friend. So then, you know, maybe I won't need to put in that effort when it's your turn, because I'll be like, oh, okay, you saved me from the stress of trying to plan your birthday party because you didn't really contribute to mine. I don't have to do anything, which is really nice. You know, like I can just give you a gift card and call it a day. So I think it's a good way to see what type of friends you have. And also, at the end of the day, some people have that strength of planning and some people don't. So, like, I'd be watching very carefully so I can see who my future bridesmaids are. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me see what kind of planning you can do, you know? So, yeah, no, I wouldn't mind. Yeah. They'd be saved-ish.
Saved-ish.
Ish.
Okay, I've got another scenario for you, Precious. So, talking about weddings, hey? Okay. So, let's say you tell your friend, like, exactly what you want for your future wedding, like your dream wedding. You're like, I want it to be in a castle, I want the horses, and then she gets married before you, and then she does exactly what you said you wanted for your wedding. Cancel or save?
When is my wedding? That's the question though. Is it the next year or?
Well, yeah, let's say it's the next year.
If it's the next year, I'm cancelling you. I'm canceling.
Cancel.
Cancel, because that's like, you didn't even ask. You just went, oh no, now I feel like I'm in that situation. I just want to punch the person right now.
Wow. So there's no saving whatsoever.
No saving.
But that's a good, like, I just wanted to know, you said that, okay, if it was a year later, you wouldn't, like, it would make you upset. But are you saying, like, if it was like 6 years later, you'd be okay with it?
If it's 6 years later, I'll get angry at you for the moment, but then there's enough time to plan something else I would like, so.
Wow. Okay, Sophie, tell us what would you do? Would you cancel or save that person?
I would definitely cancel that person.
Oh.
Like, a wedding?
Yeah.
That's probably something you've been, like, thinking about for a
yeah.
long time. And those are my ideas. And you stole them. You actually stole them. I'm going to cancel you.
Yeah.
And you're not coming to my wedding.
Wow.
Period. Yeah, so my scenario is you share something really exciting with your friend. So let's say you're getting married, or you're having a baby, or you bought your brand new house that you've been looking forward to for such a long time, and their response is just quiet. So let's say you just announce it to a group of friends, but your friend's just quiet, doesn't say anything, doesn't congratulate you. They might even try to one-up you. So you tell them about your new house, and they'll be like, well, we actually bought a villa, you know. Okay. So they wouldn't praise you or anything, or just congratulate you. Would you cancel that person or save it?
Cancel. They're not your friend. Like, if you're my friend, I bought a house, shout, scream.
Yeah. Wow.
Dance more than me. You should be happy for me.
Be happy.
Yeah.
Cancel.
So what do you reckon, Tayo?
Yeah, definitely cancelled ASAP. Like, I don't understand why we can't celebrate with each other when good things are happening. Like, it's just, it's a really confusing one. We really need to work on that.
It's a common one too.
It's very common. I've
So
seen it a
common.
lot. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hey, my child got into this school. Mine too.
Yeah.
My son is going into medicine. Mine entered engineering. Very serious engineering.
Yeah.
In fact, astronaut engineering, or
That's our African parents, because I remember when I got into boarding school in high school, and my mom was telling this church member about it.
Yeah.
And the lady was like, yes, my son is trying to get in there too. In fact, he's passed the exams and stuff like that. And my mom was happy for this lady, only for us to go back home. And the son was like telling me about it, that, oh no, he didn't even apply because their parents cannot afford the fees for it.
Wow.
I'm like, okay.
Huh.
Like, it's not surprising because it's very general for African parents to do that. Yeah.
Competition. Nobody should compete with me because I'll always win, baby. Nah.
Okay. Can I ask you guys a question then?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
So not a cancel or save thing.
Okay.
But say you had a friend and this person you hear from another person that your friend said all these bad things about you, insulted you, your siblings included. Yeah, and you knowing this friend, you think, oh, it's not possible this person did it, and what would you do? I mean, I know you'd obviously go to the person and ask, but if they deny it and then you find out that it's true, what would you do?
Yeah, I'd distance myself. I'm actually, I'm not actually a quick cancel person sometimes. Sometimes I'll just disappear really slowly. Like, they'll be like, come to this, and I'll be like, sorry, I'm busy. And then I'm busy for like the next 5 years.
Yeah.
So that friendship will fizzle out. So I think I'd be like that. I'd probably back off. Yeah.
Yeah, mine probably won't be slow. I probably will just, you probably won't hear from me again. And then you'll be asking me, well, what's happened? And I don't know. I need to definitely work on maybe being a bit more forthcoming when I'm pissed off at you about something. Like, sometimes I'll just be pissed off and then I just won't talk to you again. And then you won't even know how it ended. But yeah.
So, see, the reason why I asked this is because the friend didn't actually do anything wrong. You know, when you're with a group of people and you're like talking about different things and you say something not just because you're gossiping about the person, but you're just saying it as in, oh, I have this experience too, I have the story too.
Yeah.
So that was how it came out, and the other person just went on and said it. Making it seem like this person said that.
Oh, damn, we're just waiting to cancel our friends for no reason.
Sometimes you just have to give them a second chance and like.
Precious just taught us something. Yep.
Yep, don't cancel people too quick.
Just be cancelling.
Okay, thanks Precious for teaching us that, because that just gave me a lot to think about.
Yeah.
Can't just believe everything,
You
hey?
can't believe everything.
Right.
Hot damn.
Hot damn. I hope you guys learned something too.
That's true.
And have an answer to that.
Yeah.
But I have nothing to say, Precious. Thanks for making me
that sounds
speechless.
Evaluate everything.
Speechless. Love it. Well, Precious, thank you so much for joining us today. You were amazing. We got some fantastic points from you. And, we'll put your contact details so that people can be your friend. They'll have to put in a CV though, obviously, right?
All you just have to do is just be nice and be open.
Yeah, so. Nice and open. Okay. But yeah, thank you again for spending your time with us. And yeah, guys, I hope you learned something from today's episode.
And that's our 3 cents. Thank you for tuning in, and be sure to give us your thoughts on today's topic on our Instagram page, 3cents.podcast.
Signing out, it's Dara,
Sophie, and Tyre.